my job. I gave resignation twice. I am literally dead and tired. I don't want to look at my face. I just hate my skin. There have been days I've not had anything. Person has to do in night duty is come and sleep. They even asked me to do a blood test, which I didn't do. Of course, I am 6 months in Bangalore, and let me tell you guys, it's been a ride. Hey guys, it is Adrian and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to be giving you guys a life update sort of a thing. It's been 6 months since I moved to Bangalore. Half a year. It's been half a year I moved to Bangalore. Time flies so fast, and in these 6 months, a lot of things have changed. So, since I tell you guys everything, like I share all the little details with you guys, I thought it would make sense if I did a sit down video of explaining what 6 months so far of my life in Bangalore looked like. So I think it's time we'll rewind and let me tell you guys 6 months in Bangalore, and here are 6 things that changed.
There's not much to do when all I...
So the number one thing I want to start off with is I love the weather in Bangalore, okay? Like, I love it. It's so cold. Like, it's not this cold back in Bangalore, but here it's so cold. Like, I don't know, every night it's cold. It's not even like it's hot. It's cold every night. I love the weather, but my skin hates it. The day I've just, like, got down from the bus and stepped in Bangalore, from that day till now, my skin has been breaking out, and it is because of the weather and also the dietary changes, but mainly it's because of the weather. Because I've noticed this one thing, that my skin cannot handle cold weather. Any cold place I go, it is 101% sure that I come back with a breakout. So that has not been helping me, because back in Bangalore my skin was skinning, like it was really good. But after coming here, see, can you see all this? Like, this is at least fine. If I can put a picture of my skin when I just came to Bangalore, I will put it here. This was what my skin looked like, and now doing all the skincare and doing everything, literally everything in my willpower, I've come down to this condition, which is not bad. Like, this particular breakout I got recently, and me being me, I cannot keep my hands of the pimples that I have, so that causes even more problem, because everywhere on my face there are like acne marks and acne scars, which are nearly impossible to remove over the time. Like, I need to give it a lot of time to heal. So that is one thing that has completely changed. And I sometimes I look at my skin and I'm like, how did I even go from a skin looking like this to a skin like this? Like, when I look at my face, sometimes I'm like I don't want to look at my face. I just hate my skin. I'm sorry for saying this, but this is what it is. I don't like it at all. Like, I am so insecure of how the marks look on my face, even though it is totally my fault. And I definitely know that weather can't be the only thing damaging my skin. It is also the dietary changes, and most importantly the lifestyle, which brings me to my second point. That is, I have no schedule right now in my life. Like, when I was in Bangalore, used to do so many things. I was very productive. Coming here, I am the least productive. When I sit back and think what I did in a day, all I did was go to work. I know I came here for that and also do my YouTube, but I don't see the YouTube happening because I've been working a lot. My timings are from 10 to 7, and sometimes we do have like surgeries at 5 o'clock, scheduled at 5 in the morning, and then we do also get overtime paid, so that is not a problem. There have been days where I've gone to work at 5 in the morning and come back next day at 7 in the evening. Like, I've spent 24 hours, 48 hours in that clinic, because the main point was I came here to earn money, right? So that is why I used to do all of these things. But did I get paid properly? No. I did get paid, but not last month, I think in May, I was supposed to get 4,000 on my salary, and these people did not pay me that. So obviously, when I'm not getting paid for the hard work I've put in, I will obviously not want to, like, work continuously. Because at first I was like, okay, fine, it doesn't matter, I don't care about my health, I'm working, it's fine, like, no problem. But when I'm not getting paid, and then you're making me work so much, and forget about the pay. Like, forget about that. When I want to go home, when you clearly see it in my eyes, I am tired and I'm still not able to go home. I have things to do. I have to go home and I have to do. I every day I'm sitting and I'm like, okay, I'll go home and I'll record a YouTube video. I'm not able to do that because I don't have proper timings. If you paid me well, I wouldn't be complaining so much. I agree to that. But even if you put the pay aside, when it comes to my health, working 15 hours and then sleeping only for 5 hours and then waking up again at 5 continuously, it's not cool. Because I am not a person who will wake up at 4 o'clock to get ready to go at 5 o'clock. No, I will wake up at 5 and I'll leave. I will not have my breakfast. I will not make my lunch. And there have been days I've not had anything, which brings me to my third point. Because of all of this, I've lost my appetite. I do not feel like eating food because I've been used to that thing where I go to work, all I have is coffee, and then okay, they provide breakfast, I have breakfast. Lunch they don't provide, I skip lunch because why? I'm busy. I'm running here and there. I'm the only staff there, like a nursing staff. So I'm running here and there, and then I don't have my food, and then I come home and directly eat dinner, and my dinner literally will be rice and curd, and I've been living off of it. So now, even though I can cook, like I have everything possible in my fridge to cook, there are so many options for me to go out and eat. I don't eat because I've lost appetite. I don't feel like eating. I don't feel the necessity to eat because in my head, it's like I have functioned so well with one coffee and one breakfast. I don't think I need to eat anything. So that has been happening. I've been taking so much stress. It is so visible. Anybody who looks at my face in the clinic, like they pity me because of the way I look. I am literally dead and tired. Okay. And now because of all of these things like stress and I'm not eating, I don't have an appetite, I felt really, really sick. And there was a point I used to stress eat. Like, I'm not eating food, I'm eating everything else except food. Like, I'm munching on snacks in the midnight, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I'm eating snacks. And that made me really sick. Like, last week or a week before that, I ordered something midnight from this place called Smoky Docky, and I heard so many reviews. I already ate my dinner and all, but I still wanted to eat because I don't know why. I wanted to eat something from outside, so I ordered this, and then I felt sick to my stomach. I had very bad stomach pain. I had diarrhea. The whole day my stomach was upset. I still went to work. I came back, and at work I was shivering when I was leaving. Like at 7 o'clock when I left, I was literally shivering, and everybody's like, what happened? And this one thing I started, I shiver a lot nowadays. Like, it could be any time, it could be even daytime, one cool wind and I'm shivering. I'm literally like this, and everybody near me, they're like, why are you shivering like this? What happened? And then they even asked me to do a blood test, which I didn't do. Of course, I would not care of doing a blood test because in my head I'm fine. This is just a phase, like it will pass. So yeah, Smoky Docky, I ordered food from there. I felt really sick. Next 4 days I was at home, okay, and I didn't go. I had no strength in my body. Whatever I ate, I was puking out. And after that, I felt like I shouldn't eat anything, and I again starved myself because I was like, if I eat anything, I'm gonna puke it out. It's going to just flush out of my body. There's no point, and that is why I stopped eating. But thank God, now, like from the past week or so, it is not like that. Like, things are better. I am eating out. I'm at least making sure I take something to eat there. That is why most of the times in my shorts I'm like eating ragi bites because that is so convenient. Like, even back home I am used to eating cornflakes. Like, I don't like eating idli dosa. I'm literally done with idli dosa. So I keep cornflakes or something to eat. So I do make sure that I eat now because I've been lectured so much by all the doctors that are there that I work with, because genuinely I am putting my health at risk, which I shouldn't be doing because that's not good. So now it's not like that. Like, now I do eat, so don't think like I don't eat, and please don't, like, I eat, okay? My dad watches my videos, so I do eat. Yeah. And okay, that was number 4. Number 5 is everybody, like, when I said my friends I'm going to Bangalore, all they expected me was to, like, roam around and like drink or whatever. After coming to Bangalore, I've stopped drinking. I don't drink at all. It's been like it's been six months. 5 months I've not drank. I drank once on my birthday, which was wine, so I'm not going to consider that. But other than that, I don't drink. And I've been only to Lulu Mall. Can you believe that? I've not gone to any other place except for my birthday. Yeah, on my birthday I went to a JW Marriott, and then that's all. And then I've gone to Lulu Mall, and I go to Lulu Mall not to enjoy, not to do anything. All I do there is go and buy groceries, which are completely unnecessary. Like all I buy is Lay's. But yeah, I have not gone anywhere, so I don't feel like. One thing I was scared of is coming here, I will, spoil even more. But that's not happened. I know the value of money. I would not spend money just like that, and I would not like do something that would bring shame to me, like because I'm staying alone. So obviously I don't want to sit back and think like, was coming to Bangalore really a good decision? Because I don't want to, like, I came here for work, so that is all I want to do. I came here for some goals which I have, which I want to complete when I am in Bangalore. And apart from that, I don't want to go to a path that is not good for me. And thank God I am away from all of those things. All I do is go to work and go to Lulu Mall. That's all. So that is one thing that has happened good. And last but not the least, the sixth thing, the most craziest thing that has happened is I almost quit my job. I gave resignation twice, and that is all because of my MD. He has literally like tried to manipulate me emotionally, guilt trip me, and done all of these things. And I don't know where I keep my senses. I've been like, oh, he's a good man, he's just thinking of me or whatever. Backstabbing happened when I was literally telling him I have to be paid for 79 hours of overtime that I hit. Not 12, not 24, 79 hours of overtime in a month. And I told him I have to be paid this much more. And he was like, Aden, don't worry, I'm there. No, I will talk to them, this, that. And after that, I believed him. I was like, okay. Because he kept telling me, where is your money going to go? It's not going to go anywhere. I will get your money. Don't think about that. You keep working. And I kept working like a donkey. And then I came to know, without telling him, I called my HR, and my HR is telling me, the payment is approved by your MD. And then I came to know this guy has told them, don't pay me the extra 4K that I had to get, because all a person has to do in night duty is come and sleep. If I had to do that, I will come and give medicines and go to my place and sleep. Why are you making me sleep in the hospital? Doesn't make sense. When I'm spending 24 hours of a day in your hospital taking care of your patient, and you are telling people that all I do is sleep, so don't pay me 4K, and you are telling me that, you know what, Aden, I will take care of everything, I will talk to the people. That day I understood what a player that guy is. And after that I was like, I don't want his money. I will do at least 2-3 hours of overtime, which is fine. I can work 12 hours, no problem. More than 12, it's not good also, it's not advised also. Because more than 12 hours, my face will like this. First of all, I have so small eyes. I sleep pretty late. I sleep around 12 because I have to do all of my YouTube work. From 12 to 5, I get 5 hours of sleep. 5 o'clock, I go there. I'm not even allowed to sleep there. Before, I was at least allowed to sleep there. Later on, he told me that, Pune people told that you shouldn't, like, Pune is our head branch. So, head branch told that you people should not sleep and all of that. And later on, I came to know all of the things that he told, putting in the head branch name, were things that were actually said by him and his wife. Like, there was no relationship to Pune at all. And then when I started taking stand for myself, when I started telling him, you know what, I don't want to do the overtime, I will work for 12 hours, I want to go home. He is not letting me go home. He is telling me, what, Adrian, you came from Mangalore to work, you're not working, this, that, you want to go home, you're not interested. Yeah, I'm not interested because you didn't pay me. If you paid me, I would be interested, right? He keeps telling me that, you know what, Adrian, you have to sleep early, wake up early, this, that. He doesn't know what 100 things I have to do coming back here. I have to literally cook, I have to do my YouTube, I have to edit the same day, I have to post the same day. I have so many things to do. And he keeps telling me, if you're tired, you can sleep here itself, right? Okay, if I sleep there, then he'll tell that all I do in night duty is sleep. When you have two minds, when you have two mouths, when you're telling two different things to two different people, when you're making me the bad guy in front of the head branch and you're making them the bad guy in front of me, there's no point. So I clearly told him I can't do all of this. I want to go home. Like, I will go home. And I came home at 5 o'clock that day. And the next day, our cluster head was coming. And I told all of this to my boss. It was fine. I was doing night duty. He's been texting me from 11 to 12:50ish about nonsense things, like about other people's gossip, what this one spoke, what that one spoke, nothing about the patient, nothing about any of that sort. And he also told me this one thing, that you can't go home tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm going. I did a night duty. I have to go home. I will go home because I've worked for 24 hours. I can't work more than this. And he's like, no, but you're the only staff. You can take rest. No, I want to go home. I want to take rest. I'm not comfortable sleeping in a hospital bed. I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to do that. When you're talking different things to different people, I don't want to do that. I will go home. And he crossed the line there when he was like, He replied, And I was like, you know what? I need to tell all of this to the cluster head, because at that time I didn't even think like something's wrong. Something wrong is happening to me. So I told all of this to my cluster head, and she's like, Arden, this is wrong. You need to stand up for yourself. And that day, I was like, you know what? I'm being tortured so much. So let me just do my work, do my duty hours, and go home. It's okay. I can find other ways to make money. I can concentrate on my YouTube. So I can do that. It's fine. I don't want his money. So I was in that mindset. And then this guy's wife enters. Stupid girl, stupid lady. Oh my god. This lady, this needs a complete different story time. But yeah, I was fine, and all of that. I then come to know that this person, he's telling everybody that leaving 3 people who is chamchas, me and all the assistant doctors are shameless. And tell me, why will I work in such a place when you're calling me names like this? So I put my resignation, and I got called from the head office, and they're like, what happened, Adrian? And I wrote oh my god, my resignation deserves an Oscar. Like, I've written everything in that. I put him mail of resignation by like clearly telling, I can't handle the work pressure, I don't want to work. But when I put the mail to them, I clearly mentioned whatever was happening, because my cluster head told me so. And he got mad for all of those things. And that was the time I felt sick. So 4 days I did not go to work. And I've been texting him and calling him and telling him that I'm not well, I'm not coming to work. And he's been telling around people, Adrian didn't inform me. If I'm informing and if I'm calling you, if you're not picking the call, it's not my problem. I've left you mails. That is all I can do. I can't do anything more than that. So I was like, fine. All of that happened, done. I gave my resignation. I was in my mind that I'm going to leave. Then I got call from the cluster head and from the Pune people and from the head branch, and they were like, Adrian, you know what? Don't quit. They didn't want me to quit, because I am not saying this for the sake of saying, but I genuinely work hard. So they know how much I work, what I work. So I was like, okay, fine. And then considering all of that, and also considering the thing that I've worked 6 months in this place, if I just leave, my 6 months are gone. I will have to work another year in another place to get a 1-year certificate. And I don't have time. Like, I have to finish certain things in certain span of time. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm not going to take my resignation back. Then I come to know that my MD is angry at the whole head branch and the Pune team, because he wants me kicked out because of the mail that I put against him, even though I've said all these things to him also, but he didn't tend to hear. So I obviously mailed it and told these are my problems, that is why I'm leaving. So he got to know about that mail, and he was so pissed at me, he wanted them to kick me out. And when I came to know that, I decided, no matter what, I am not going to leave the job, because now The thing is, I don't talk to him, he doesn't talk to me. We have no communication. All we talk about is work, and he's nobody to me. So, whatever problems I have, or anything for that matter, if it is my leave, if it is my payment agreement, if it is anything, I need to directly talk to the head branch. So, there is no there is no need for me to talk to that person. And the cherry on top, he doesn't want me working. So the fact that I work here every day against his will, and he has to see me every day, and it's like a torture for him. It's giving me so much peace right now. So I was so yeah, the point was, I have not quit my job. I did not quit, and I took that decision back. So all of these things happened. It has been crazy 6 months. Like, I did not expect all of this to happen. In my head, when I thought, oh, I'm going to Bangalore, what I'm going to do, Sunday is a holiday, I'm going to party, I'm going to be drunk. None of that is happening. I'm working, I'm concentrating on my YouTube. I'm a good girl actually coming here. And not like I don't enjoy, I do enjoy, but I don't find that enjoyment in liquor or anything for that matter. I'm happy being in my room, eating good food, and just like watching something. I don't want anything more than that. And even though all of these things have happened in 6 months, it might not have been the best 6 months, but the fact that right now I have everything that I maybe like dreamt of like once upon a time. So when I was little, I always was like, I have to move out of my house. I have to live alone, and all of that is happening. So I'm like, even though all of like even though all of these small problems are there, I cannot forget that with all of these small problems, I am probably living the life I dreamt of once. Like, I have everything that I once wanted as a child. God has given me everything that I once wanted as a child. So it is not like there are only problems, there are good things too. But yeah, this is all that has been happening since the last 6 months. And now these 6 months have taught me that I do not need to be attached to anything, anybody, and I need to take a stand for myself. And that is what I've been trying to do. And now I'm at so much peace. I left my work today a sharp 7 o'clock. Sharp 7, I logged out. This man, you should not even let me go at 7. Like, I'm done with my work. He's still sitting and talking on the call with some of his friends, and we can't leave because he's sitting there. We have to leave only after he is leaving. Now that I am not bound to do all the multitasking, I used to literally multitask in the clinic. Okay, I'm doing all the works. I'm the pharmacy in the clinic. I'm the OT technician. I'm the nurse. I am doing the editing. I'm doing all of the things. Okay, I'm doing even his personal work. He's like, Added, my Gmail is not working. Please, I should do all of that. Now I know I have set boundaries. I don't take anybody's shit. I'm doing my work. I'm logging out whenever my time is done. So even though these 6 months have been so up and down, at the end of the day, it's all good. Like, right now, I'm in so much peace that he's not talking to me, and the fact that he has to see me every day, even though he doesn't want me to work there, is giving me so much, like, it's just making me happy in a very evil way, which is, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I do feel good about it, because you see me work in your clinic, in the place where you invested, and you still have no control of me working there, because the head branch wants me to work there. You have no power over it. Even though the head branch is your own family, you have no power over me being kicked out of that place, and that gives me so much peace. Like, whatever I've been put through and whatever I've worked hard, all of that is spoken for me right now. And yeah, you just get to see me every day, even if you want to or if you don't want to. That's none of my business. So yeah, oh my god, I didn't expect this video to be so long. But yeah, so this is what 6 months of my life in Bangalore has looked like, and I am so grateful to God for whatever has happened, because in a way it has only made me stronger. And I know for a fact that the next 6 months, I have set so many goals. Now that I don't overwork myself, I have set certain goals, and for the next 6 months, I am only going to follow those goals. I'm only trying to reach those goals, and by the end of this year, I want this one particular goal to happen, and that is all that I'm thinking about right now. I'm not taking bewaja ka stress. I am not. I'm eating well. Everything is fine. I am happy staying in my room and just going to Lulu Mall. I don't want anything more than that. And yeah, this is how my 6 months in Bangalore went. Like, oh my god, this video is almost an hour. Half an hour, it is almost 30 minutes. But yeah, this was what my 6 months in Bangalore look like so far. And trust me, next 6 months are just going to be only good. That I know that I can feel it. So yeah, I think I spoke too much. I just love doing these sitting videos. Like, I'm so chill, and it's so cold right now, so that's why I'm wearing this on. But yeah, every time I wear this, I have a story to tell. So yeah, that was the video, you guys. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope I did not bore you guys. And yeah, if you're watching this and whatever, like, this work, politics, or anything is happening for that matter, all you have to do is take care of yourself, and everything else will fall in its place. Stand for yourself, and that is all. It's not easy to just move to a completely different place alone and do all of the things and still be strong at the end of the day, but you got to do what you got to do. That is the end of the video, you guys, and I will meet you guys in the next one. Bye. I hope I didn't bore you guys.